lock up your horses. The selective history of Sunderland AFC. Poetry and football do not mix. Like salad cream and mayonnaise do not mix. Like electric guitars and tropical fish do not mix. Like soluble aspirin and insoluble aspirin do not mix. Like Claudio Marangoni and Sunderland Association Football Club did not mix. Signed for a club record £320,000 in 1979, Marangoni scored 5 goals in 36 appearances but never settled and returned to Argentina in 1980, depressed by the bleakness of the town's only zoo, where he witnessed a chimpanzee knocking out his keeper. Marangoni was the first Argentine ever on Wearside, and only the second ever person called Claudio. The first being an Italian entrepreneur who tried and failed to introduce the cappuccino to Sunderland in the mid-1970s, a time when no one had eaten pizza except by mistake, and even mentioning ravioli could get you arrested. 1980 saw Sunderland return to the top flight after a 3-year absence, promotion clinched with a 2-0 victory on the 12th of May over West Ham United, who had won the FA Cup just 2 days earlier, which they brought up with them and paraded around the pitch. Flash Cockneys. Flash Cockneys. The manager was Ken Knighton, who was sacked on 11th of April 1981 by Chairman Tom Cowie, who owned a car dealership in the days when people who owned car dealerships could also own football clubs, and not just car dealerships. Cowie had a section of the Kingston University campus named after him in 2002. That bit down the river, by the river, I think. I don't know. Never been there. No one called Ken has ever managed Sunderland since. Half-time quiz. Name the top 5 most famous Kens. Answers. Number 1, Ken Rogers. Number 2, Ken Sampson. Number 3, Ken Loggins. Number 4, Ken Dalglish. Number 5, Ken Yong-il. Exactly 6 years later, on 11th of April 1987, Sunderland suffered a 2-1 home defeat to Sheffield United, one of a string of defeats which ultimately led to the club being relegated to the 3rd tier of English football for the first time in its history. I was part of an angry mob which stood outside Roker Park demanding the sacking of manager Laurie McMenemy. There was pushing and shoving. A can of lager got knocked over. I think someone's car aerial got bent. It was the most exciting moment of my life. McMenemy later resigned when I updated my map of managerial casualties and shipwrecks. My grandfather always referred to McMenemy as a big daft Geordie guardsman, owing to his time in the Coldstream Guards and his being born in Gateshead, which is almost Newcastle. It's hard to overstate the hostility people from Sunderland feel towards people from Newcastle. Every year on 5th of December, the anniversary of Sunderland's 9-1 win over Newcastle in 1908, effigies, Bant and Deck, Sting, Pat Marvin, Mark Knopfler, Jimmy Nail and Loose Women presenter Denise Welch were burnt on waste ground. The ashes collected and sold as cures for a range of ailments, including plague and work-related stress. We must make this place a fortress. Extra time. In 2001, at the Stadium of Light, I saw the British electronic music trio Dario G mime their 1997 hit Sunshi Me on a small rostrum placed within the centre circle whilst dressed as lions. True. In 2007, at Oakwell, Barnsley, I watched a half-time competition where members of the public had tried to kick a ball onto a shed roof, the prize being the shed itself. The teams had earlier announced the theme of the late 80s, early 90s nightclub-based TV programme, The Hitman and Her, hosted by Pete Waterman and Michaela Strachan. In 2022, at Wembley Stadium, at the League One playoff final, when Sunderland finally secured promotion, I wished that my mother had been there to see it, before remembering that she hated football and had an unspoken yet deep-seated suspicion of London. The goals made such a difference to how this game went. It's like after the Lord Mayor's show. I don't expect you to do anything with this information. It's just good to finally tell someone.